Afternoon, ladies and gents. It's the Fat Loss for Humans Monday Q&A. There's two questions. They're both pretty detailed, so let's get cracking. First one from Amy, who asks, so I've set my calories at 1700 with a 40 carb, 35 protein, 25 fat split. I'm assuming that's percentages. However, if my goal is to lose a little bit of body fat and my training is currently 3 to 4 cardio sessions, 5 to 6 lifting sessions, I'm obviously going to be operating in a calorie deficit. I would concur with that. Would it be worth me increasing to 2000 calories to cover the cost of the cardio? Or is it too dramatic a drop? Obviously, this is very specific. Now, it is a specific question with the numbers, but I think it applies to a lot of people. And that is the question of where do you start your diet? You know, how many calories should you begin that cut on? And looking at your numbers and the amount of sessions that you're doing in a week, which is going to be anywhere from 8 to 10, 1700 calories it feels instinctively low. Like I would probably set it at 2000, like you said, or maybe low twos to begin with. Just knowing that you train hard and the sessions are labour intensive, you're burning a lot, even with your resistance sessions as well. It does depend on where you started calorie wise. So if you were tracking beforehand, then I'd use that as kind of like a base level. So if you're eating 2500 calories, then maybe you sort of start by, you start with a 500 calorie deficit. So that would take you around 2. A higher deficit does make it harder to stick to as well. Like I noticed you put that in the question as well, like when you're consistent, and you're absolutely right, because only eating 1700 with that sort of output, you are definitely going to get hungry. So then it becomes a case of, can you stick to it? Because the best diet is without doubt the one that you can stick to in the long term. Another point to think about is leaving yourself somewhere to go if fat loss stalls. So if you're doing 1700 calories, 10 sessions to start the diet, if you hit a bit of a plateau, then what happens? Is it 1500 calories, 12 sessions a week? I mean, that's going to be brutal. So at least if you start at 2000 calories, you can kind of chip away a little bit, because training wise, you know, you enjoy the training, so that's probably not going to change too much. Like you physically can't, you probably haven't got the time to add more sessions in. So it's going to be the calories that are going to be getting manipulated. So if you start at 2, you can, 100 a week or 50 a week, you can start adjusting as weight loss slows. And the last point to consider is there a time pressure on the cut? So is it, I've got a date in mind, I've got to be ready for the end of August, I've got 4 weeks to go, in which case if you want that weight down quick, then you maybe have to suck it up and go with 1700 and really push it hard. If it's just, well, I want to lose a bit of body fat, I just want to chip away at it, get a little bit leaner, I would definitely start slow. Like if you haven't got a time pressure there, do it slow and steady, make it easy, or easier, and make it doable. I hope that helps. Any follow-up questions on that, far away, because I think that's an interesting topic, like where to set calories and how fast to cut. I think a lot of people could benefit from some information on that. So thank you, Amy, for that one. Good start. Question number 2, courtesy of Alan Mitchell, aka Gadget, long time no speak buddy, who actually sent me a complete War and Peace message on this, as he summarised himself, but some solid points in there. So first question, is it possible to get lost in all the data you can measure nowadays, and what should one focus on? Okay, I'll do these one at a time. So yeah, is it possible to get lost in the data you can measure? Absolutely. There's like different body fat measurements, calipers, tape measures, body weight on the scale, tons of different stuff. What I would focus on, and what I tend to get clients to focus on, is 3 separate measures. Number 1, weight on the scale, because it's the easiest one to do. Wake up in the morning, jump on, make a note of the weight, go on with the rest of your day. And you can do that. I mean, I would do that every day just for accuracy. Number 2, tape measurements. Probably need to get someone to do this for you, like PT or partner, that sort of thing. But again, it can just provide kind of a secondary measurement to just weighing in, because you can, you know what it's like when you feel the belt buckle coming in, or you'll feel your sort of shape changing. The weight on the scale doesn't do too much, but you can physically feel the changes. The tape measure can track that. So something really simple, like maybe chest, hips, waist, quad, and around the arm as well. The third one would be photos. So you can do this. This doesn't have to be as often, but probably once every, for most people, once a month. You know, front, back, sides, just get a look and you can sort of physically see the changes happening, or hopefully you see the changes happening anyway. But yeah, those are the three that I would do: scales, tape measure, photo. Question, or Alan's second question: is there a reason that body fat percentage and fat mass jump overnight? There is. So this is when you're using, everyone's seen them, the scales in the gym where you can jump on and it gives like an estimation of your body fat percentage. The only issue with those sorts of scales, it's called like bioelectrical impedance, something like that, is that fluid balance and water retention or dehydration can affect the number massively. Like if you do it pre and post workout, the readings will be all over the place. And also your body weight will jump from day to day as well. So when you use one of those machines, you have to expect, like you could have like the perfect day, for example, go in the following day and read up 2-3% higher, and it can become really frustrating and a bit disheartening as well. So I don't tend to like them. I just think if you stick with like the weight and tape measure and photos, that's probably going to give you a better reflection of what's going on if you weigh every day. Question 3 of the three-parter: is there an optimal frequency to measure yourself and track progress? So there's not an optimal, but there's definitely, so if you take body weight as the prime example, or scale weight, the more often you weigh, the better the more accurate the results. So at the end of the week, you can take that weekly average, and then I would start comparing week average to week average as opposed to daily weigh-ins. And when you pair that with the other two measures, like so what you see in the mirror or take the photos and the tape measure, that's going to give you a good overall sort of gauge of what's going on. There are more accurate ways of doing it, like you know, you can have DEXA scans and there's underwater weighing and all that sort of stuff, but not particularly practical, can be really expensive. So if you have those first three, you're kind of doing all the right things. But yeah, don't get disheartened if you have a day or a couple of days where everything's been on point. You jump on that body percentage measure machine and it reads high. You won't be the first person that's happened to. So yeah, you're doing the right things, buddy. Keep doing your thing. Right, I hope those questions were helpful. I'll do the same thing next week. Any questions you like, I mean, you can fire them at me throughout the week if you want, on the Facebook page, on Instagram, or drop me an email on info@andrewjohnscraggs.com. And I'll be here same time next week. Have a good one, guys. Catch you later. Bye.